Hey guys, it's Mario here, and in this video I wanted to share with you a couple of ideas on how to get more energy in the morning. So how to get motivated to wake up, to crush it, to get your day going on the right track. And we know that all the experts, if you look at Get Things Done, if you look at stuff that Brian Tracy wrote, they all talk about the morning as being the most important part of the day, as in the sense of getting stuff done, right? That's when you're the most focused, when you have the most willpower. At least it should be like that. And now the question is, what can you do to improve this process? And I'm gonna go over some of the mechanistical stuff and some of the mindset stuff. So in terms of like what can you actually do proactively, obviously things like exercise, having good nutrition, maybe fasting for a couple of hours, maybe just 1 to 3 hours after you wake up you will fast, maybe just run on a couple of cup of coffee, maybe on a cup of green tea and things like that, so you're not stressed with digestion, you're not stressed by food when you're getting that work done in the morning. And that is something I use as a tool. I will not exercise first thing in the morning, but I will wake up and I will fast for like 3-4 hours. I'm gonna get my work done, and that's when I shoot most of these videos, is actually as soon as I wake up. So that's when I get most of my stuff done, because that's when I'm the most focused, that's when I have the most willpower, and I'm not stressed yet. I don't check my email, I don't check anything. And that's coming back at that, is that what you should proactively be doing is setting something to block all the social media, all the email, and all the stuff that is gonna distract you before you get your big thing done, right? At least for a couple of hours. And that is a thing that completely changed my life, is simply blocking email and Facebook and like all these notifications as soon as I wake up. So going further, what can you do is, as I said, avoid nutrition. But if you do have to eat the nutrition, if you do have to eat breakfast, I would suggest getting something like a very balanced, high protein, carbohydrate, fat meals, to have a lot of balance with it, a lot of fiber as well, because that fiber will actually slow down the digestion combined with fat and protein as well. You will not get that very high sugar spike that is gonna make you fatigued, that's gonna make your brain a little bit slower, right? So that's one thing that you can do for your nutrition. And going further, what else can you do? Well, you can meditate. Every day when I wake up, I actually meditate for about 5 minutes, and I think it grounds me in the moment, right? That's the first thing I'm gonna do, and that's gonna be like, as soon as I brush my teeth, toilet, bam, meditation, right? Before I start doing anything, before I check my phone, computer, as I said, everything is blocked, like nothing, it's just me and me, right? Me and the moment, and that's the way it should be, right? That is the thing in the morning. Other things, some stuff that you can try out, you can quit vaping first thing in the morning, that can play a big role if you're into that kind of stuff. I'm not so big on the no vap kind of thing, but definitely can play a role if you're addicted to that. If you're doing that every morning, it might sap your energy right up, like out before even you get out of the bed, so keep an eye on that. Other things like that I would say that really play a big impact is what are you waking up to, right? And that's a big idea here, is that if you don't have any purpose, like if you don't have any goals set up for that day, if you have nothing for that day that you really wanted to get done, like what are you waking up for? Like why do you need to wake up? And that is an idea for you guys, is like, if your brain, if your mind doesn't see a necessary reason for you to wake up, like why would you wake up? What is the reason? What's your purpose? And it's easy to discover this. There's two ways to this. Like, there's guys who have no purpose whatsoever, so they have nothing to do for a day. They have no goals, they have nothing, and that's a completely different video, where you definitely need to have some goals. We are purposeful creatures, and the thing is that if you don't have a purpose, you're not gonna get anything done. Like your life is just not gonna go in any direction. But another thing is that even if you do have a purpose, what you should be doing is actually planning what you should be doing that day, and you do that planning the night before or the day before, or have some kind of weekly, at least some kind of skeleton plan for how your day is gonna go by. On Thursday, I know I'm gonna make this video as first thing when I wake up in the morning. I know I'm gonna do that. I plan that on Wednesday. I plan my topic, I research that. I also do like weekly planning. I'm really big on planning. I got this from Brian Tracy. He says 10 minutes of planning says about 4 hours of execution. The man is right. The man is 100% on point in this. And you need to have a plan. Even if you have purpose, if you have a ton of goals, if you don't have a plan when to do what, you're gonna be screwed, because you're not gonna know what to do. And then you're gonna waste so much energy trying to determine that every single day, while it's better to have a blueprint when you're going into your week and simply execute the best you can. And when it comes down to that purpose, I mean, if you don't have any purpose, I would really suggest digging deep and seeing why you're here on this planet. I think reading something from Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations, where he talks about like that man, when he's like struggling to wake up, like he's a Roman emperor, obviously, like there's some sense of urgency, but he can do whatever the fuck he wants. And he talks about like, what is a man that stays in bed? Like, I mean, if you look at the bees, if you look at the plants, if you look at all the other animals, they're not ignoring the shit they need to do just to stay in bed because it's warm there, right? As a human being, you have a duty to this world, you have a purpose. What is something that you need to do as a human being? Like, what is that? What is that task? What do you want to contribute to this world? And that is something you want to focus on. And that is really what this Marcus Aurelius's book Meditations, I mean, that's one part of it. I would highly recommend reading the whole thing. And the way he talks to himself, he does these like self-talk techniques. I mean, that's over 2,000 years ago, and he used this very powerful technique where he would talk with himself, like just simply changing that self-talk, because it's very important the way you talk to yourself, how you're gonna go about things. And I would highly recommend it. He says like, you need to find your purpose as a human being, and you wake up to that purpose, and you will not have any problems going about your day and having energy if you have that purpose, because that's going to be like infinite fuel for you. Like all these other things that I mentioned, like exercise, that I mentioned, like nutrition, that I mentioned, having good sleep, obviously. I mean, if you're fucking sleep deprived, what are you gonna do? But if you have all these things, but if you don't have your purpose, you're still gonna wake up and feel like shit. You're still gonna wake up and you're gonna be very slow. You're not gonna know where your day is gonna go, because none of these kind of quick fixes, none of these mechanistical things, none of these like things that are influencing will change the fact that your mindset is simply not there because you don't have the purpose, right? You don't have a clear direction, and that's something that you really need to work on. And that would be the biggest thing, to really wake up in the morning, like screw the NoFap if you don't have purpose, man. Like NoFap is not gonna help you find your purpose. And that is the thing, like with purpose, you can overcome all of these. Like people are asking like, how are all these successful people, like they eat fucking McDonald's, they don't exercise, they're fat, they're overweight, they don't meditate, they don't read books, they don't do anything. Well, they have a fucking purpose, man. They have a purpose. Purpose is the ultimate fuel, like it's the ultimate motivator. Like you don't have to meditate, you don't have to do shit. I mean, obviously you would perform better if you do all of that, but unless you have a purpose, all of these things are useless. They're just simple tweaks. They're just finer details to the big picture, but the big picture is your purpose, is the thing you need to be doing in your life. And that is really big. That's something I want you guys to think a little bit about, and really hit me up in the comments below. How do you feel about that? Like, what's your current purpose? Do you have your goals? Are you really clear with that? And also, if you're looking for book recommendations, just hit me up in the comments below. I can recommend you a couple of books depending on your situation. And if you're struggling with finding that purpose, definitely hit me up there and we can discuss, we can share some ideas. I hope you guys enjoy this quick video on how to get more energy in the morning. And here is a really beautiful day in Seville, Spain. You can see it's very sunny. I'm actually gonna get hit by a tram soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As I said, make sure if you enjoyed the video to share it with your friends, to hit the subscribe button below, to support the channel, to give some love, share some support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.